All right, so we are all done talking about our characteristics over in the chat. I learned so much about you guys. Can't wait to get back in the classroom. And now we're going to move on to a worksheet, okay? So please go over to the module for April 6th and open up the worksheet that's called Characterization. It says, I say, and so. So this worksheet helps you figure out what the quote from the book says, the It Says column, how you are learning something about the character, and then the and so column is what you did learn about that character, okay? So because we're not in school, and you guys, and you guys don't have access to the books, you just have those audio-visual recordings that I've been putting on YouTube, we're gonna do this all together, okay? So please follow along. Let's talk about the It Says column first. I gave you guys a quote and hopefully it's clear enough that you can read it. But this quote is about Martin and it's from the very beginning of the novel. It says, fill my pockets with rocks, add a couple more layers of clothes, wet winter clothes, and I might push the scale up towards 90 pounds. All right, so what does that say about him? Let's see. The I say column is all about how you think this passage reveals a character trait. So this is all about his size, right? Like we've already talked about this a little bit together in the chat, but we know that he's small for his age. So he says that if I fill my pockets with rocks, if I add more layers of wet winter clothes, I might push the scale up towards 90 pounds. So we know that he's small. He's a petite kid, okay? So for the I say column, I'm going to write down that kids who are average sized don't need to, and I'm sorry this is so messy, I'm trying to like hold the phone so you guys can see it, or average size don't need to add extra weight. And the and so, we're writing what this reveals about the character. So we know that Martin is small for his age. All right. Moving on. The next one, we have a note from Mr. Briggs that's on page 13 of the book. So I'm gonna crack open my book over here so you guys can see that. Okay, it says from Dale Briggs' notebook. All right, and he says, this is like something that he wrote down, you know, in his planner or like on his blotter that's on his desk. And it says, how about a unit on using science facts in everyday life? I think the kids would like that. Everyday occurrences like a dormitory fire or a small explosion present a wonderful opportunity for a lesson. What else? Maybe I could do something with food. That's always popular. Okay, so what does that say for Mr. Briggs? How do you think that this passenger reveals a character trait? I think it's pretty clear that Mr. Briggs cares about the kids who go to Edgeview more than some of the other teachers who work there. So he's trying to make these lessons that actually engage the kids, that actually appeal to them and make them want to learn stuff, okay? So for the I say column, we're going to put that. I'm going to say B for Briggs. That he cares about student learning. And the and so column, we can fill in that he cares about the students at Edgeview. Okay, and last but not least, I want you to try to do this one on your own. So I'm going to give you, I don't know, like 5-7 minutes to try to figure it out, and then head on over to the chat and we can talk about your answers, okay? Okay, All right, so our very last quote says, and you can pause this if you need to so you can read it. Bloodbath glanced over at Torchy, then tilted his head slightly. He didn't say a word, but Torchy got the message. So this is about Bloodbath, not about Torchy. I'm going to read it to you one more time. Bloodbath glanced over at Torchy, then tilted his head slightly. He didn't say a word, but Torchy got the message. Okay? So what does that say about Bloodbath, and how do you learn about him through that quote? All right, so take a few minutes and then head over to the chat and we'll discuss.